Yes.
Okay. Let's call the meeting to order. I did send out an email yesterday with some things that I wanted to go through. And I'll just go through the way I've listed out. And I spoke to Paul earlier in the month about things that the ACC should be doing. And I'm going to address one of them, and that is creating a calendar for our meetings for the remainder of 2024. I've actually had some of the agencies ask for this because they're trying to figure out when to get some things to us. But Carrie, you might want to write these down. We can certainly be flexible, but I would propose we have May 29th, June 26th, July 30th, August 28th, September 25th, October 25th, November 27th, and December 30th. And we should have these posted on our website if you can, please.
Hold on.
What's that?
You guys should discuss all those dates to make sure they work for everybody and then vote on them.
Are you guys good with those?
Chat box, in case anyone wants to see them visually, they're in the chat box now.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I suspect people aren't going to be able to clear those dates in the next 30 seconds by looking at them. So why don't we, after this meeting, send the dates out and
We can respond by email.
yeah.
Okay, good. Paul, I'm going to throw you on the table. Are there anything else that you think we ought to be doing?
That's a fairly open-ended question. I don't know what you mean, Mr. Brennan.
Well, I actually sent you an email earlier in the month with a number of items on it, but like one, when I read the statute, it says we're supposed to have written procedures for hearing cases.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen one.
As you and I have discussed, I'm going to be working on them.
Okay.
What you had sent me was essentially one of the other jurisdictions,
Correct.
which looked like they just cut and pasted the COMAR regulations. So I'm not sure how helpful that was, but
Bob, this is Kurt Smoke. I am on the phone, but I'm having trouble with the visual stuff. So if we can go ahead, I can listen. I can hear everybody.
Okay, we can do that.
yeah, it's fine.
The other thing is, and I'm going to bring this up, I think with our decision report, we should have more of a written forward. And I've actually drafted something. Again, I've plagiarized from another county. And Paul, after this meeting, I'll send that to you. But one of the things that that I've seen is that there are a number of items that we are supposed to take into consideration, such as there's no conflict of interest. And we should be able to make a representation, I think, at the beginning of our meeting that we are aware of that, and we have an obligation to disclose. And if no one's disclosed, then no conflict has been declared. The other item, and I talked to Stuart about this, the statute says we're supposed to send the reports to the chief of the police. Stuart has been sending them back to the IAU or Rachel or whoever's been submitting the reports to us. He said that the chiefs are allowed to designate that. And I understand a lot of times secretaries, deputies are allowed to designate, but in this law, I don't see where it is allowed to be designated. And should we be sending the reports to the chiefs as well as the person who submitted the cases?
Yes, I believe that'd be appropriate if we just follow the plain language of the statute.
Okay.
As you note, it does say chief, so.
Yep.
That's an easy fix, right?
Yep. Yeah. One of the things, and it gets into a policy and procedures, Since the legislature didn't designate terms, I think our committee ought to sit back and create term limits. A lot of the counties, what they have done is they've created an original term of 1 or 2 years. Some people started with a 3-year term, but the terms to be on this board would be 2 3-year terms, two full 3-year terms. So we can work something out. And I think we all got an email from Kurt yesterday, and he figured out a way to cut his term to 2 years. So
He's smarter than the rest of you.
he's busier than the rest of us, and he's got more than a full-time job. Also wanted to make note that there was a email that came out with additional training. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make any of them, but actually right now it looks like I might be able to do the one in August, which would be in Hagerstown. The last item I want to talk about is the annual report. Katie did post that, or she did send it out to the governor's office, legislative services, the speaker's office, the president's office. We probably should also post that on our website. And Katie, I don't know if you did that, but it just dawned on me the other day.
Yep, I sure did. It's on the Statewide ACC website, and I believe I did a post on Facebook as well on the commission's website, just to tell people it's out there.
Okay. I think that's all of the items that I had for today. So with that, let's go into get a motion to go into closed session.
So move.
Rodney, second.
A second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Katie, do you want to read your statement?
Yep, you have 10 seconds.
Hey, Bob, or anyone, do we happen to know how our caseload in the report compares to the numbers in other police accountability boards?
Good question. Montgomery County had about 50 cases last year. Prince George's County, their numbers are confusing, but they only heard less than 25 cases the first year, but they actually have investigators that review the cases before they come to them, and they sent back over 50, almost 60% of the cases for additional information. They're expecting to hear about 150 cases, and they're using a fiscal year that will end in June 30th, 24.
I see. Okay.
And I think Baltimore City's probably got the biggest caseload. There was an article in the paper about their ACC in the Sun paper. I didn't see it, but I heard about it. And their complaint was department sending cases right at their end date. So for whatever that's worth.
Thanks.
Yeah. Let's start with go ahead, Katie.
Well, we think, does someone want to make a motion to go into closed session?
We did that.
We did.
It's already been done.
I got Kurt on the second, correct?
No,
Kurt
Second.
motion, Rodney second.
Got it.
We were all.
Okay, ready? The session will be closed under the authority of General Provisions Article 3-305B 1, 2, and 7 Integrated Code of Maryland. The reasons for closing the session may be to discuss the appointment and employment of an individual over whom the committee has jurisdiction, and to protect the privacy or reputation of an individual with respect to a matter that is not related to public business. During this closed session, the topics to be discussed are administrative charging committee cases.
All right, so why don't you just quickly recap what you started with, and we'll go from there.
Great. To recap by agency, the first agency was MTA. We had 3 cases with three officers with 3 allegations. There was 1 administratively charged, 2 not administratively charged, of which 1 was exonerated and 1 was unfounded. Maryland National Capital Park Police, we were actually presented with 3 allegations. The committee expanded it to a total of 7 allegations. All of the let's see, we had 7 of which were not administratively charged. 6 were exonerated and 1 was unfounded. DGS, we had 1 case. It was administratively charged. And there were findings and a penalty. University of Maryland Capital Park Police, we actually received 2 files. One of the files we are sending back. The other file, the officer was administratively charged. And then with the Maryland State Police, 7, 13. I got to make some corrections here. 6, 7. Okay. We had 17 officers. There were 7 of them were administratively charged. 13 were not administratively charged, of which 6 were exonerated and 7 were unfounded. And that was the results from all the committee, and all of the voting was unanimous. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
That's second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody.